Uh-huh. Yep. Hmm. Hey guys, it's your girl Chef Joya, and welcome back to my channel. Say what is vegan. First things first, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of these amazing recipes. Now, I'm coming to you, no makeup, wig back, everything, because I just realized y'all don't have a video for the New Year's, and y'all gotta have those good recipes. During this video, I'll be showing you the foods that we make during the holidays. That means different things. And as we go through each recipe, I'll tell you which dish represents. I put a whole list on the community page of your shopping list, but I'll make sure I include the details in this video below. We're gonna go ahead and get into these black eyed peas, and I'm gonna show you how to do it the right way. And we're also gonna make some collard greens with some turnips. And no, baby, we are not stewing any tomatoes into these collard greens. These are not Jamaican collard greens. These aren't African collard greens. We're making Southern style collard greens just with no meat and all the flavor. And I'll be showing you how I make a tomato relish, which is the perfect condiment for your collard greens. Also, we're going to go ahead and make it our corn pudding. Now, corn pudding is very similar to cornbread. It's just a little softer, but we're going to get into it. It's super easy, and we're using box mix to make this. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, we're going to start off with our black eyed peas, and I'm going to show you how to do a rapid cook and a rapid soak. What I go ahead and do is I rinse off my beans and I put it in a pot of warm water, and I add some baking soda to it, and I add about a teaspoon, and I turn it to a boil and remove it from heat and let it sit for about an hour. Next, I go ahead and dice up my veggies. I'll be dicing up my onions, bell pepper, and celery. You know your girl don't measure, so I put an estimate in. I would say about 2 stalks of celery, about 8 cloves of garlic, 1 onion, and 1 bell pepper. Next, I go ahead and add some oil to the pan with some vegan butter and some dry thyme. And then, I got to add my special crack pack, which is my onion soup mix. And I give that a nice saute for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, my beans are done, and I did leave it on my stove on simmer on accident. So, baby, these things kind of cooked a little more than what I expected. But these end up being the most tender beans I've ever made. So after I add my rinsed beans back to the pot, I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasonings, which is my primary seasonings, which is salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. Next, I added in my vegetable stock and 2 bay leaves, and I got to have my vegan Worcestershire sauce, some liquid smoke. That's going to help give the meaty flavor, and a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. And yes, I leave the juice in there. I'm going to add a touch of brown sugar for sweetness and a little bit of crushed red pepper. I add in about a tablespoon of the Better Than Bouillon vegan chicken bouillon, and I cover my pot and cook it on low for about 40 minutes. Next, I'm going to go ahead and wash my greens, and I do this process 3 times with some kosher salt water, and that salt is going to be an abrasive for my greens. And don't worry about using too much salt because you're going to rinse that right on off. And you want to break and pull at the same time and actually wash your greens. Like you see, scrub your greens together to make sure you get any dirt, any bugs, any things off of that. And again, you're going to do this process about 3 times. By the time you get done with this, you don't even need a knife to cut your greens. Next, you're going to go ahead and take your pan and get you some olive oil and put your shallots or red onion, red bell pepper, jalapeno, and garlic. And you want to make sure you saute that for about 2 minutes before adding your greens. Now you're going to shake your greens off and just use a little bit of that green water, only about a cup of it, to add to your pot. And then you're going to season your greens with a little bit of onion soup mix. I use some vegan ham bouillon and some more salt because we did rinse off the original salt, so I don't think this is going to be too salty. Then I'm going to go in with some vegetable bouillon as well. Next, I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice stir, and then I'll add in my black pepper, my garlic powder, my onion powder, my thyme, and you got to have your liquid smoke, baby, and some maple syrup. Now, y'all asked about these maple collard greens. This is the recipe everyone is going to love. Now let's get into this easy corn pudding. We're going to take our Jiffy cornmeal mix, and then I also use some self-rising cornmeal, and then I'm going to add in some salt and some more sugar. Then I'll add in a can of corn. Then I also take 1 can of corn and 1 coconut milk, and I blend it together. And I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper, and I'm using unsweetened applesauce as my egg replacement because this is going to give it a nice jiggle and soft hold to the corn pudding. Next, you're going to mix all your ingredients in there, and you're going to also add in some vegan melted butter. And look how delicious this looks. And make sure your pan is greased up before placing it in there. And then you're going to put that in the oven and allow that to cook. Now, all these details are going to be in the description box below, so make sure you check it out for the full recipe. And this tomato relish is super easy and delicious to make, and I'll be sure to include that as well. And this tastes good on almost everything, but I always put that on top of my greens. I got that recipe from my cousin Shalonda years ago, and every time I make a pot of greens, I gotta have my tomato relish. Now, while serving this delicious food, let's get into the reasons why we eat the foods that we eat on New Year's Day. Black eyed peas is considered a symbol of good luck and prosperity. Collard greens symbolizes wealth and financial prosperity. Cornbread represents gold, which is another staple that represents wealth and prosperity. And then we have pork, which represents moving forward in the new year. I cannot wait for you all to try these recipes out, and be sure to check out my vegan soul food cookbook. It's so amazing with over 35 vegan soul food recipes. All right, guys, we have everything done, nicely served up. I mean, again, look how good this looks. And this is my favorite part. We are getting ready to taste this. Now let's start with the collard greens. Now I did cook my collard greens a little longer than what I wanted to, but they do not stink. It did not release any gases, so it's still good. All right. So with the relish, bussin'. Don't need no meat. Ain't even thinking about no meat. Somebody asked, they wouldn't even be looking for the meat. Amazing. And the black eyed peas. Now I just love my black eyed peas like this. Like I was telling my friend today, I was like, do you like your black eyed peas whole, or do you like it with like a little texture? And she was like, I like whole pieces. And I was like, wait, you don't like this? She was like, no, that is still whole. If your black eyed peas more mashed in this, I don't know what that is. You might as well make some akara, because we don't want to eat no mushy black eyed peas, okay? We're gonna eat it with our rice. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Now we gotta go to the corn pudding. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. Like, I really just want to go ahead and mash all this up together. I mean, because it goes on everything. So this right here, y'all, I know y'all wondering, like, what is that piece of meat that she put on her plate? Well, first of all, you know it's not meat. But I did use a product called House of Chicken. It is a chicken-based dish, but I actually use that to make like different products out of it. So it's basically a seitan that's very flexible. You can fry it, saute it, grill it. You can do a lot of different things to it. So I pan-seared it, and I made like a rosemary and mustard glaze. So this is going to be my pork loin dish. And if y'all want the recipe for that, let me know, and I'll go ahead and update the description box with the details of it. So I'm gonna just break off a little piece of that. I'm just gonna pick it up like this. That's good. Wait, now I got to get a little taster. I'm gonna hold down my mouth. Oh, that's real good. Okay, I'm so greedy. I'm trying to gather all the pieces up to it. Yep. That's a good plate. When all your food can touch and everything tastes good together, it is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait for you all to try this out. Make sure you do, and let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If there is anything else that you would like for me to make on this channel, let me know in the comments below. I have about 200 videos on here, and there's more to keep on coming. So I make food from all over. So if there is something that you have not seen, or you think you have not seen, again, let me know, and I'll be sure to point you in the right direction. I'm Chef Joya.